Hello again and welcome to Last Time Studios. This video is here for one reason: to help you stop endlessly scrolling through your favourite streaming service and find the perfect comedy. In this video, we get into why Idiocracy should be your pick tonight. Do you ever look around and think that every minute of every day, the world is spiralling into a plane of existence that resembles a tumbleweed in a classic Western movie? To put it bluntly, you get that feeling that every day the world just gets that little bit dumber. Like if brains were a currency, humanity would be in more debt than the US government. Imagine a future where your worst nightmares became that reality. That's Idiocracy. But here's the twist: it's also hilarious. We're immediately struck from the offset with a comical but unfortunately accurate truth. Smart people, they tend to overthink everything. Career goals, financial stability, waiting for the right time. Whereas the opposite end of the spectrum, well, let's just say they're busy, like really busy. By the time the standard IQ holder has calculated the cost of baby feed, they've already named their seventh kid Cletus, Junior. It's a nature's perfect storm. A shitstorm, that is. So what's Idiocracy about? Picture this: Joe, an average guy, yeah, I see the pun, he's selected for a top secret hibernation experiment. He's literally picked because he's the most average guy in every way possible. But things go wrong and he wakes up 500 years later in a society where intelligence has basically vanished. Now Joe's the smartest person alive, by a long shot. An average Joe is now essentially the sharpest, wisest and most gifted person on the planet. Comparably, he's the next Leonardo da Vinci when pitted against his newfound peers. From fast food chains running the government, to the farming industry wondering why electrolyte type drinks are causing the crop to die, to automated healthcare which is as useful as Dr. Nick's or Dr. Zoidberg's healthcare, Joe can fix it all with just an average IQ. Great, but why should you be watching this tonight? In 2006, Idiocracy was ahead of its time. It tackles things like mass media, consumer culture, and obsession with convenience over common sense. Plus, it's funny. Not just a bit funny, but like really funny. But you'll also find yourself squirming a bit because parts of it feel just far too familiar. In a 2018 interview on the Joe Rogan Experience, director Mike Judge reflected on how he could have never guessed just how pathetic this film would feel. Aside from the fact that the film ran just short of the smartphone era, which Judge admits he didn't see coming, the world he predicted got even stranger. Almost like Idiocracy was a glimpse into a world that's halfway here. The film did quite poorly at the box office, but don't let that put you off. Terry Crews, who played President Camacho in the film, suggested that the film's satirical depiction of corporations made it financially unviable, leading to the studio's lack of support. But Mike Judge also said that a limited theatrical release wasn't that bad of a thing, as his previous film Office Space did well through post-cinema release purchases, gaining a cult-like status by many. And rightly so, Idiocracy has also since gained a cult following. The studio met the contract's requirement for a theatrical release, but offered zero marketing, limited the film to a handful of cinemas in select cities, and pulled it after just 1 week. Some theatres even had to advertise it as the unentitled Mike Judge project due to lack of promotion. Also, we've got to talk about Crocs. You might love Crocs. Good for you. In the Joe Rogan interview mentioned earlier, Mike Judge also recalled that the costume designer suggested using a small startup's horrible plastic shoes with holes in to save money. Judge joked, "What if these actually became popular?" And she replied, "No one would ever wear these things." Those shoes ended up being Crocs. Yeah, Crocs. There's several aspects of the film I've not even touched on here, but hopefully I've given you enough of a taste to get you watching. The film slaps with slapstick, but also isn't shy of giving subtle comedic nuance, which will certainly leave you chuckling and certainly leave you with lines and most definitely an experience that you will not forget. I feel a bit bloody awkward asking, but if you can like and subscribe to the channel, it would massively help. Ratings: Rotten Tomato meter, 71%. IMDb score, 6.5 out of 10. Last Time Studio score, 8 out of 10. Now here's something important to think about. What if Idiocracy was more of a warning than a comedy? What if we're closer to that future than we care to admit? This film definitely taps into those what if fears about where things are headed, especially when it comes to our relationship with technology and critical thinking. It will leave you laughing, that's for sure, but it'll also definitely leave you wondering where we might be in another 20 years. So if you're sick and tired of scrolling for something worth watching and you're looking for a comedy, I'm gonna call it and say you'll love Idiocracy. It's a comedy, it's a satire, and it's strangely relevant. This is one that'll stick with you. That's it for this week. See you soon.